Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another One Man Review. Today, I've got a book I'm very excited about. Just came out from Fantagraphics called Goes Like This by Jordan Crane. Huge fan of Jordan Crane's work. Came to him little too late, but this is helping me out by collecting some of his older short stories into one gorgeous package. You can see on the side it's got a very strange binding without I've got a couple books like this that don't have a spine on it. And the reason for that is this book is chock full of different kinds of papers, inks, production techniques, and stuff like that. Jordan Crane is someone who brought production concerns to comics. Like I said, this is someone I came to very late in the game, only a couple years ago, but the more I've learned about him, I know that he was big in bringing production to comics. So there's a lot of beautiful production stuff in here that's very inspiring to me as someone who's also become obsessed with that, including the covers. They have like a spot gloss on them, and the way that the spot gloss is put on really makes it look like it's been printed in layers of spot gloss. I don't think that's actually what happened. It's something I'd love to see. I don't know if you can print spot gloss on top of spot gloss, but the way that he's done it here almost looks like it's got color and then spot gloss and then color and then spot gloss. It looks layered like a painting, which is something I really, really want to try within my own comics. Because of my background as a painter, there's layering effects with color that you can't get just straight mixing. And Jordan Crane seems very interested in that. I think a lot of times he's just using layers in Photoshop, but the way he's doing it winds up making it look like a screen print, even if it's just offset lithography. And the way he's manipulating the spot gloss, choosing what lines it goes over, what shapes it doesn't, is all very clever. Then immediately you get a different type of paper here, a very thin paper, and this is printed with two spot colors like the cyan and a red, and so you've got those type of ink mixtures there. I think it's anytime you've got color showing through color, it's really beautiful. Then we come back to like the cover material, and there's a lot of these pinup pages throughout. These ones are again printed on this really thick paper, and it almost looks like layers of gloss, but it could just be how the color's used. I think Jordan Crane's very obviously interested in transparency as one of the formal kind of elements of art. That's one that gets left out a lot. Color, line, all those things. Transparency is one that I think is more recently added to people's considerations of that, and Jordan Crane seems really interested in that. Then there's a lot of short stories in here. This one you can see is like on a shiny paper, and it's a full color story. I really like the switch between the colors throughout the story. There's like different monochromatic palettes throughout. I'm not sure if this is like one, it looks like it might be spot colors plus gray, plus black. Like this might all be, no, I guess that's blue and green, but it might just be blue with the gray greening things down. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure if he's doing tricks on every one of these things, but it seems like there might be a limited color palette going on here plus gray. But a really funny story. The short stories are all kind of just jokey almost. This one's called The Hand of Gold, and it's about a guy that steals some gold, and here he's in a cave and accidentally shooting himself. This one called Keep a Light Out. This is what makes me think he might be doing some color mixing tricks on some of these other ones, and just knowing he's a production guy. But this one's very obviously this dark blue or purple with the magenta, and then the way they overlap to create a third color. This seems entirely like a formal experiment, just playing with that printmaking technique, but really beautiful imagery throughout. And again, like the type of printmaking techniques that I'm becoming interested in, so very inspiring. Then we switch to another signature that's got like this kind of yellowy, very fibrous, non-coated paper here, and just a black and white story called Below the Shade of Night. Beautiful cartooning throughout, very Sammy Harcum, Sean Knickerbocker. Those are probably both people that are inspired by Jordan Crane, I would imagine. Maybe Jordan Crane inspired by Sammy Harcum. I'm not sure about the timeline on that. This is a story before they got better. A few of these stories are more just like down to earth. This is just a family. It seems like a lot of the stories including, I'm going to forget the name of that awesome book that he did. His last graphic novel that just came out with the car crash seems to have these very domestic kind of stories. So someone who's, I'm assuming a parent, like here you have this guy going down in his man cave to get away from the wife and the kid. So a lot of Jordan Crane stories seem to have that very domestic nature to them. Then whether it's on shiny paper or whether it's on this uncoated matte paper, there's a lot of these illustrations in here that again seem to be taking advantage of. I don't think they're actually using spot colors in here, but a lot of the idea of screening colors over top of each other, I'm pretty sure that's all just done in Photoshop, manipulating where they're multiplied and where they're screened and that type of stuff. But it winds up looking kind of like a spot color job. I don't think it is. I don't think we could do a spot color like this right here could be, but I think it's just a CMYK mix because you can't do it unique for every page like that. But some really beautiful imagery that shows this kind of idea of playing with transparency, knocking out lines that Jordan Crane's playing with, especially on the covers, playing with those transparencies. Then there's a two-part story called Vicissitude here, another one that's like a black and white, but this is on a whiter uncoated paper. And again, a story about like some domestic stuff and a wife that's cheating or a partner that's cheating on somebody. And then in between each of these, you get some more of these illustrations, a lot of which deal with the transparencies. Then you get this piece here, which is printed on like, it's either printed with pink or it's got like kind of a pinkish paper. This is a short little surreal one that kind of loops in on itself called Wake Up, about a woman murdering herself. And then we go to another color one on shiny paper. This is a sci-fi story. I think this one I got an Uptight number 5. I don't know how many of these come out of Uptight. I still need to see if I can find all what was in Uptight. But this is a sci-fi story where they land on a comet and they're trying to mine it and it goes wrong. I really like Jordan Crane when he starts getting all these bubbly things all over the place. This is the person's hands got cut off and is bleeding. You can see that here, which is the cover to Uptight number 5, though, all of these like transparent bubbles that go over stuff color-wise. Then a short siren story called The Middle of Nothing, or sorry, The Middle of Nowhere. Some real good use of tones in this one, dot tones. And then a story called Now. I think Now is a children's book that Jordan Crane released, and I think this is being represented here by showing the cover of the book and then opening the page. So I think he's collected a whole children's book just into this one comic, but I'm not sure because it gets stretched out here in a way that wouldn't really fit in a kid's book. And then this last story here is quite beautiful as well. And this has those little bubbly things that I've seen Jordan Crane do before. And just absolutely beautiful colors throughout. I'm sorry I'm giving away so much here, but I really, really love the way these colors look. And these are some of the kind of effects he did in his graphic novel as well. So really a distinct personal cartooning style throughout. Someone who has a lot of different ideas within that distinct personal style of how to put it all together in the final product. And yeah, a really unique book, a really interesting piece of production, a lot of enjoyable stories, and a real masterclass, I think, in how sexy books can be. So definitely go out and get yourself Goes Like This. And if you haven't, get any other Jordan Crane material. You can, because it's all phenomenal.